Hello everybody, welcome to the STIHL Timbersports Great British Pro Championship. Today we have 12 athletes on stage in just under 5 minutes here, 4 minutes 51 seconds to be exact. We are going to go live around the world with our broadcast of this event, so do be sure to get involved and make some noise for our athlete on stage, as they'll really be needing your support when we get up there. Get them up there, and we're enjoying our time with this fantastic event. 6 disciplines, 12 athletes, and one will come out as the winner at the end of the competition today. So be ready for it. Going live broadcast around the world in now 4 minutes 14 seconds.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Championship Day here in Great Britain for the Great British STIHL Pro Championships. This is where the very best in Britain go hammer and tongs for the most prestigious title in British timber sports, the British Pro Championship. Now, over the last 24 hours, we've seen 6 athletes qualify for today alongside the 6 who've already pre-qualified automatically for a place in today's final. Among them is defending champion, 4-time champion Glen Penlington, fresh from a top 10 finish at the World Trophy recently. But make no mistake, every athlete here today believes it could be their day, and there can only be one champion. And over the course of this competition, we'll witness 6 extraordinary disciplines of STIHL timber sports, from the precision of the stock saw to the explosive power of the hot saw. You're in for a treat. This is where championships can be won or lost in a matter of milliseconds. This is the pinnacle of British STIHL timber sports. Strength, speed, and skill at its absolute finest. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for our athletes who are competing for the title of 2026 British champion. Let's bring them on, please. Here we go. The first up is Ryan Tonkin. Next up, Jack Morris. Representing Ireland, Seamus Ryan. Ben Chapman. Harry Hogg. Dave Thomas. Joe Groom. Graham Turner. Tom Redmond. Gavin Thompson from Ireland. George Spencer. And our reigning champ, Glen Penlington. Okay, so we have our athletes locked and loaded. We're about ready to introduce our judges. Please welcome on Mr. Bart Janssen and Radu Kazaku. And they will oversee proceedings today alongside video judge Jules Janssen, who is in our truck over to my right-hand shoulder. Right, we have the athletes primed and ready. Troy, welcome back to the fair British Isles, my good man all the way from Canada. It's great to have you on board, Troy, to describe the action and paint some wonderful pictures of this wonderful sport.
Yeah, thanks very much, Alex. I'm really looking forward to this event here today because we have 12 of the best timber sports athletes in Great Britain ready to throw down here on stage in 3 rounds of 6 disciplines. So before we get underway here, let's take a look at how this competition will run down from the very first event right to the hot saw at the very end with our competition format. And you can learn a little bit about that right now with the clip. The STIHL Timbersports individual competition. In the first round, all athletes compete in 3 disciplines: the underhand chop, the stock saw, and the standing block chop. The times achieved will be converted into points upon completion of each discipline. In round 1, a difference of 1 point applies in each discipline, thus the fastest athlete receives 12 points and the slowest only 1 point. Any rule infraction will result in a disqualification, and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. At the end of the first round, the athletes with the lowest scores are eliminated. Only 8 athletes make it to the second round. In this second round, the remaining athletes compete in the single buck and the springboard for increased scores. With 2 points difference between placings, the fastest athlete now receives 16 points and the slowest receives 2. The 2 athletes with the lowest total points are eliminated at the end of round 2. Only the top 6 reach the third round. In the third round, anything is still possible in the hot saw, as an increased score interval of 3 points applies in this final round. The fastest athlete can score up to 18 points at the hot saw, the slowest only 3 points. The athlete who manages to achieve the highest total score across all 3 rounds is the new champion.
Okay, so that's our competition format. We are just about ready to get underway with the action. We are ready to unsheath some axes for the first of our disciplines, a classic timber sport, the underhand chop. Let's see what it's all about.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand-sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, the athletes cut through a 32-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
Okay, we're not going to make the athletes wait much longer now, and this is the rundown of your heats through 1 to 6. First to take the stand here in Great Britain and kicking us off in 2026 with the underhand chop will be Joe Groom and Seamus Ryan. And they'll be followed by Dave Thomas and Ben Chapman right the way through to Tom Redmond, Gavin Thompson, Harry Hogg and George Spencer, 2 names to watch out for. And our reigning champ, he's then going to take the stand in Heat 5 alongside Ryan Tonkin, our debutant here. And 3-time rookie champ Jack Morris will go in Heat 6 alongside Graham Turner. But we're going to bring our first 2 athletes out onto the stage. We welcome out a legend of timber sports, Joe Groom from Guildford in Surrey, the Cookie Monster, and Seamus Ryan, representing Ireland many times at international level. We're going to kick things off, folks. Give it up for our 2 athletes.
And ladies and gentlemen, we should point out there are 2 athletes on stage going head-to-head with each other, but this is not an elimination type of event. So what these guys are trying to do is get the fastest time possible as they prepare. Here we go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So Seamus Ryan in the green, Joe Groom in the blue, getting into that block right away. Both of them pretty much in sync for the first few drivers as both of them chipping out nicely here. Joe Groom looking like he's good to get to the other side, and he got over there quickly with a hop. He is not the Cookie Monster anymore. He is Bugs Bunny on that one as he jumped over to that second side, and he's looking good. Seamus Ryan now chipping out nicely on the second side of his block as he's getting close to it. But Joe Groom's got himself a personal best with a nice cut at 27.05. Seamus Ryan just passed the 33-second mark, and he's got 34.19 as his time here in the underhand. All right, so we do have official times there for both gentlemen. Joe Groom with a 26.80 and Seamus Ryan with a 33.81, which actually did, Alex, turn out to be a personal best for him. So nice way to start off our competition here today with a couple of personal bests right out of the blocks.
Yeah, we saw yesterday in the qualifiers, Troy, the amount of personal bests that were tumbling. Just shows the state of the Great British and Irish STIHL timber sports quality right now, and the people are improving every single day.
Yeah, and I love that hop around by Joe Groom as he went to the second side. He made no bones about it. He wanted to get onto that second side and start working it really quickly, which he did. And it worked out well for him with a 26.80 time.
Okay, next up we have a returning hero to the timber sport stage. 7 years hiatus for Dave Tomo Thomas. He finished top of the qualifiers yesterday to take pride of place on our stage, alongside Ben Chapman, who was third in qualifying, to put his name on the screens firmly in this men's championship today.
Yeah, Ben Chapman was looking good yesterday. Dave Thomas, nice to see him back in the mix after 2019 in the Czech Republic when we had him on stage with the team last. Both of these guys really well matched up here.
Hey, Atlas, ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Quick start by Dave Thomas and Ben Chapman on that first side. Dave moving over to that second side quickly. Mr. Thomas wanting to make a name for himself once again. Ben Chapman chipping out really nicely on that second side. A little bit of a narrower entrance into that second side, but it's going to work well for him with a 25-2-0. Ben Chapman with a speedy second side, and Dave Thomas struggling to get through on that second side. Now he's found a bit of a tight spot, and he is looking for that power driver to get through there as the time runs down on him. And yeah, he's going to have to cut out some more wood maybe to free up that space. And he's really having trouble here. We didn't see this yesterday from him, and this is not boding well for the time. He needs to get it done in a short space here, otherwise he may well get a timeout DQ here, and hopefully that doesn't happen for him. And he is through in 1:01.94, an uncharacteristic time for Dave Thomas. Curious to look back at that block and see what happened there.
We've just seen there, Troy, what elite level live sport is all about, and with the wood is drawn as well, so it's a lottery of what you're going to get.
It is, exactly. I mean, we can really say that the wood is quite fair. It's been chopping well this weekend. Ben had a fantastic cut on that one with a 24.80. It's a personal best for him, and that currently puts him atop the underhand chop results. Now, what I was curious about is what was happening with Dave Thomas's block there. He had a really nice cut on the first side. He was maybe 1 or 2 drivers behind Ben as he moved around to that second side, but he kept getting stuck as he was trying to push that driver through and clip and split that wood. So I don't think I saw a hard spot in there, but that angle is really tough to tell. You can see there, he did get it, it wiggled, but there was one piece left over. And oh yeah, you can see there's a little dark spot there. It looked like there was a knot. So it might have been that caused problems. When these axes that are so precisely sharpened to a very, very, very sharp, I mean, you can shave with it, as you heard from the description. When it hits a knot in there, it can damage that edge a little bit, which takes away its cutting ability. So yeah, there was a little dark spot in there that I saw. I don't know if that was the end-all be-all for that one, but it could have had an effect.
Like you say, Troy, uncharacteristic start for Dave Thomason. We know the quality of this field today. Glen Penlington, the 4-time British champion. But who else is in the mix today, Troy, in your opinion?
Well, I'm really interested in seeing how Ryan Tonkin does against these guys, because Ryan Tonkin appeared yesterday during the qualification round and was a surprise for everybody. It was his debut in the pro class, and he did really, really well, in particular on the chopping disciplines. He was great on the underhand chop. He was great on the standing block. He had a really decent stock. So we'll see how he does now that the ante's been upped a little bit here. And of course, I'm going to be rooting for Joe Groom all day long. That's my dark horse for today.
Okay, great stuff. Yeah, we can also cast eyes to the likes of George Spencer, who's knocking on the door. Last year, he's a national record holder. We've got Graham Turner from Scotland, some big, big names to come onto this stage. And we're going to carry on now with the next heat. All right, and that brings us to Tom Redmond from Bear Regis in Dorset, and former Irish International Rugby League player Gavin Thompson will take the stand. So expect fireworks from these two.
Absolutely, and you know, I say I had a couple of favorites there, but I look down this list and I see there are absolute legends and legends in the making in this list of athletes that are coming up on stage here today. So really, I mean, you could throw a dart and hit any one of these guys that could theoretically win this event today. So Gavin putting on a little bit of lube on that axe, and that's just to prevent that initial driver from not getting stuck in the block. Let's see if it works out for him.
Ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Tom Redmond opting to show us his pretty side as he starts off facing the audience here, as Gavin Thompson shows us his pretty side as he's facing away from the audience and getting into the blocks. Both of these guys looking really good. Gavin switching over to that second side now, and Tom Redmond about a half driver to one driver behind Gavin on that second side. Gavin's looking really good here, chipping out nicely. Tom Redmond coming close to it, though. It very well may be a close heat between these two gentlemen. As, a sticky axe for Tom caused problems. It's going to be Gavin Thompson and Tom Redmond. Wow, 3.325 and a 3.320. It does not get much closer than that.
Okay, we have a disqualification on this side because the footballs were cut, and the good cut on this end.
So unfortunate for Tom Redmond, he got a DQ because of a cut foothold, and our slow-mo camera may get a shot of that later on. You briefly saw that as our woodchucks were picking up the block to start the cleanup up there, but great start by both of these guys. Gavin Thompson looking towards the back of the stage as he got in. You can see those chips were just exploding off that block. Really, really nice accuracy on the scarf, and then he switches around to the other side and starts working that second side, and it was a very, very nice clean cut through there by Gavin. And I think maybe Tom had that cut foothold on the first side when he was facing the audience. He was very, very much on the right side of his block. And that is unfortunate for him because it means 0 points in this case.
Okay, we move on now to Heat 4, and we bring out Christmas tree farmer Harry Hogg. It's Christmas every day when Harry's concerned. And 30-year-old George Spencer, big part of the STIHL Timbersports family, George, from Hereford. He was third place finished last year, and he's a hot saw national record holder. So again, two athletes in their prime.
Yeah, we know that George is putting the work in to make sure that he's really on point here for this event, as well as Harry Hogg doing a great job yesterday in the qualification round.
Okay, Atlas, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Big drivers from both these guys. George Spencer getting some pace in on his hits, though. He's got plenty of power, and he likes to keep that pace up. He's switching to that second side very quickly. 2 step downs, though. That's going to cause a time problem for him as he wanted to get over there and really get into it quickly. Now he's on that second side with his balance intact. Harry Hogg looking good on his side. A little bit of a sticky axe there, though, and George Spencer pretty close to getting through that one. He's done it in a personal best, 2.845. And that puts him just in third place here in the underhand chop results. Harry Hogg with a 34.36 in sixth place right now in the underhand results. So a really nice run there from George Spencer to keep him well in the mix. And so far, 4 personal bests have gone by the wayside, Alex.
Yeah, we can see backstage here today the steely determination in all these athletes' eyes. And there's a real focus about everyone who's taking the stands today.
Okay, congratulations, both cuts are good.
as there's a slight worry there that George's might have been a DQ. I saw a little bit of discussion between Radu and Bart, but everything is good, and we have good cuts for both of those gentlemen, so those times will count. You can see here on George's block, really, really nice drivers in there. Wood exploding out. Harry Hogg, he's a tall guy. He's very wiry and strong, and he did a great job. Now, George was quick to get to that second side. However, George did step down twice. So we could theoretically say that George's time may well have been 2 to 3 seconds faster, which would have put him in second place had he been a little bit more balanced stepping onto that second side. But he got himself a personal best, and that was a really nice final driver there from Harry Hogg.
Personal best, always positive. We want to see those, and we've had a number of them already in these heats. Troy, it's been an explosive start for a number of our athletes, but I just want to touch on Tom Redmond with the disqualification. Tom has finished third on 2 occasions here as a pro athlete, but how detrimental is that disqualification to Tom's overall chances of winning today's pro championship?
It's a difficult situation because these guys are so close together that sometimes it's only going to be like a couple of points here and there that are going to make the difference between the top 10 positions. And he still has a chance. Let's not say that he's out of it completely. He's such a, such a strong competitor. He's going to be going, okay, I need to make some changes in the stock saw and my standing block chop so that I can make sure that I have the points that I need in order to stay in the top 8 moving into the next round of discipline. So he's not out of it, but it's going to make life a little bit more difficult for him. And it was probably just a small mistake, a misstep on his part, hitting into that foothold on the underhand chop, and that caused a DQ. And unfortunately, the DQ means 0 points.
Yeah. Troy, the next heat is one not to take your eyes off. We've got the 4-time champ Glen Penlington taking the stand with our sparkling debutant, Ryan Tonkin. And what do you expect from this one?
Fireworks, absolutely. Glen Penlington knows he's good. He knows he can cut well on the underhand chop. He's a fantastic axeman. Ryan Tonkin, what we saw yesterday was impressive for me. I mean, the kid is absolutely fantastic. I say kid. I mean, he's not really a kid anymore, but is a kid as far as his experience in timber sports here is concerned on the pro level. And sometimes we say in other sports you're playing up. And in this case, I think Ryan is going to really push Glen right to the edge. And it may help Ryan, in fact, achieve a good time as well in the underhand chop. So we'll see how it all pairs out. But, I mean, Ryan's not really far off that time of Glen Penlington here with his time personal best.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget that Glen has 20 years worth of experience in STIHL timber sports, and he's only 35 years old at the peak of his powers. And this man here, Ryan Tonkin, as Troy's detailed, he had a stellar debut yesterday in the qualifiers and rightly deserves his place on the log for the first foray into his pro championships.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, look at the speed by Glen Penlington there. He has axe velocity and pace as well. And Ryan Tonkin not letting him get too far behind, but Glen was quick over to that other side, and he hippie-hopped over to that second side really quickly as well. Ryan Tonkin hitting on that second side now, chipping out nicely, and it's a season's best, personal best for Glen Penlington. 19.57, obliterating his previous personal best. Ryan Tonkin nearing the 30-second mark here, as one more driver should do it for him, and a 33.04 for Ryan Tonkin. So not as fast as we have seen him cut, but he is in 6th place in the underhand results, and Glen Penlington takes the top spot in underhand with a bullet.
Wow.
Okay, congratulations. Both cuts are good.
I mean, I think over the course of this competition, we're going to run out of superlatives to use against Glen's name, but it's That's a statement of intent, Troy. It was great to see him smiling at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, enjoying himself.
Yeah, I mean, he had pace and power and accuracy. One time he got a little bit sticky in there, and how quick was he to the second side there? Just absolutely blisteringly fast there on that one. And just to give you an idea, the previous season's best for the underhand was 20 and change, and Glenn brought it down to 19 and change with a personal and season's best this time around. And there we see that final driver through for Ryan Tonkin, who is looking very good still.
Yeah, one man who has been looking very, very good in our rookie competition. 3 times rookie champ, Jack Morris, the youngest competitor in the Pro Championships. His debut as a pro, age 24. And then the man from Scotland, Graham Turner, a big favourite amongst his peers here at STIHL Timbersports Great Britain.
Jack's got himself a fancy new pair of shoes for the competition today.
Looking like Billy Whiz in those.
Okay, athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
So both of these guys pretty evenly matched up. Jack is a slight but very quick and powerful hitter. And Graham, well, he's just a little guy with a lot of muscle. And Graham is quick to get to that second side and not too far behind Jack Morris as they both get into that second side and start really working the block. Might be close between these two guys. Graham Turner has kept that axe moving. Jack's got a couple of sticky ones. And Graham Turner with a 27-17. Not his fastest cut, but he is definitely in the mix. In number 4 position in the underhand chop. Jack Morris with a 36-35.
Okay, congratulations. Both are good.
Troy, Jack got off to a blistering start there, but what do you think it was that cost him those valuable seconds in the final third of that?
Well, Jack's a power packet, and he can really hit, you know, he got into that block. This is Graham's block here. You can see really, really decently accurate shots, but plenty of power and chipping out very, very nicely. And here, that was good, evenly matched up heat on that first side. And here you can see Jack was actually first around to that second side and got into it fairly quickly, but then it just took him a little bit longer on that second side for whatever reason. Sometimes it's, you know, something in the woods. Sometimes it's getting the axe stuck. He did get it stuck a couple of times on the bottom of the cut, so that might have played a role as well. And you can see Graham with a nice clean cut through there, and about 4 or 5 drivers. You can see a huge sticky axe there for Jack. I think that was the problem absolutely for him on that second side of the cut.
All right, so let's take a look at how the points come out in the wash now. So as we know, we saw that unfortunate DQ for Tom Redmond. He won't get any points after those cuts to his footholds. And then the points are split thus. Dave Thomas taking 2, Jack Morris 3, Harry Hogg gets 4 points. The Irish pair of Seamus Ryan and Gavin Thompson getting 6 and 5 respectively. Our debutant Ryan Tonkin takes 7 points. George Spencer with 8. Graham Turner, we just saw, he picks up 9 points. Then the top 3 after this initial heat. Joe Groom, he gets 10 points as a personal best there. And yeah, top of the tree, Glen Penlington, but hotly pursued by Ben Chapman.
Yeah, and getting the season's best on that underhand chop as well. And we should also point out, because this is the first discipline, that ranking that you just saw for the underhand chop also counts as the overall ranking. Once we get into the next disciplines, then we'll start to see these rankings shift and change a little bit. Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, Glen has gotten himself in a very good position with a really nice start to the competition here. It looks like he's well on his way to defending the title, which he has gotten 4 times now. So theoretically speaking, if he wins this one, it'll be the 5th time in a row. And there's been very few athletes in the history of timber sports that have been able to maintain that kind of steady individual performances over the years. So Glen Penlington showing some real, he's going to put the challenge to everybody here today.
And we're ready to entertain the petrol heads out there. Some of these little beauties are going to come out. The stock saw is next. Let's take a look at what the stock saw and the chainsaws are all about.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
Okay, Troy, here we go with the stock saw. Again, 6 heats. The 12 pro athletes are ready to chainsaw their way through this one. It's Ben Chapman and Seamus Ryan going off in heat 1, and then the fellow 10 athletes will take to the stand. Points are at stake. Every second counts in this one.
Yeah, and this isn't really about strength or power. This is about knowing the machine that you're using and have in your hand. You have to really be able to feel and read what's happening with that machine and knowing when to push and when to let off a little bit.
Yep, so we now have coming to the stage from Ross-on-Wye, tree surgeon Ben Chapman, and he is joined by Irish competitor Seamus Ryan, 50 years young.
Yeah, it's great to watch Seamus out there. Keeping on. I mean, 50 years and still competitive and still relevant. So that's fantastic. Ben Chapman had a really nice start to the contest here with the underhand chop. Second fastest in the underhand chop, just behind Glen Penlington. So if he can stay consistent throughout this, he may well challenge Glen for that top position. And, the routine that these guys have right now is just about making sure that everything is in the position they expect it to be in, so that all they have to do is react and go, and it's just muscle memory. Here we go.
Hey! Warm up your souls. Atlas, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ben Chapman quick to get into that wood. Seamus Ryan a little bit behind. A bit of a swing by Ben Chapman on the upcut. Seamus was cleaner on that transition, and he caught up in that second half, but it's a real nice cut by both these guys. 11-10 for Chapman and 11-7-5 for Seamus Ryan.
Final checks from Judge Radu.
Congratulations, both cuts are good.
So official time now, 11-5-2 for Seamus Ryan and a 10-9-7 after a quick adjustment in our competition control center for Ben Chapman. Now, Ben was quick to get into that wood right away, but he had a bit of a swing on the transition. Hopefully we'll see that. Seamus, on the other hand, there you see that swing. Seamus, on the other hand, he barely swung that at all and got straight back in. He had a really, really efficient upcut and actually caught up with Ben on the upcut here. You could see Ben still won it, but it wasn't that far behind for Seamus Ryan. So a really nice pair of cuts there.
Yeah, so we're underway with the stock saw and brings us to heat 2. Ryan Tonkin and Dave Tomo Thomas making this return after 7 years away from timber sports. That you can see there, Troy, with their personal bests. So close within each other's times, and Tom over there with 11.86 best. Ryan's first appearance at a national pro championship, and he is really giving a great account of himself.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with that that guy, Ryan Tonkin. I mean, he's been really fun to watch, and I always like to see when talent presents itself, because it just means good things for the sport down the road, and the more people that are pushing the envelope, the better the sport is going to get, and yeah, it's just a lot more fun to watch. So Bart gave us a pause whistle there. He's just going to double check the alignment on that one block for Dave Thomas, and looks like everything is good to go.
Hey, warm up. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, both guys into it pretty evenly. Tonkin looking good as he's got that first cookie drop. Nice transition by both of them on the upcut. Tonkin losing that tip a little bit, but he's got a personal best 11.98 after yesterday's 12 and change. So that's a really nice run for Ryan Tonkin. Dave Thomas with 12.09. So Ryan Tonkin sitting at the moment third in the stock saw. Ben Chapman still holding that top spot, and the time to beat in stock saw is a 10.97.
Congratulations, both shots are good.
So again, improvement for Ryan Tonkin after yesterday's qualification round. He's gotten a bit faster on the stock saw. You can see Dave making a little bit of an adjustment there, kicking away something underneath him as he was in his cut. And there you see that final lift from Ryan Tonkin. Really nice, clean cut for him. Two good cookies on the deck. And you can see a little bit of an advantage there for Ryan on the left-hand side of your screen, but it wasn't that far ahead of Dave Thomas.
All right, a couple of our qualifiers from yesterday taking a stand for Heat 3 in the stock saw. Harry Hogg and Jack Morris. Harry Hogg, second in qualifying yesterday from putting the glam into Glamorgan. And yeah, Jack Morris, Welshman, three-time rookie champ.
Harry's been fun to watch throughout this weekend as well, coming through the qualification round as well as Jack Morris. So yeah, it's been good fun to see these guys compete.
Jack hails from Knighton in Wales, that rich vein of talent in that town in Wales. So many of our athletes have come through the ranks out of Knighton and the clubs there.
Hey, warm up your souls. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Jack Morris is an excellent stock sawyer. Harry Hogg doing very well on this cut as well. Big transition by Harry Hogg. Jack Morris a little bit less of a swing on that, but it's going to be Harry Hogg with an 11.77 and Jack Morris with a 12.63.
Congratulations, both shots are good.
Harry Hogg having to remove the mouse ears off the top of his head for that last shot, and taking a look back here Very, very nice start. Bit of a thick cookie for Jack Morris, but his transition was super clean onto that upcut, and he kept that saw moving. Didn't disappear the tip. A bit of a swing for Harry Hogg, and he's also got a massively fat second cookie. I'm surprised that he managed to stay within the lines there. That first cookie, yeah, the first cookie was nice and thin, so he left himself lots of space for that second cookie.
Yeah, we know, Troy, the promise that Jack Morris has undoubtedly shown, but it's not really going his way so far today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been, what, 2 years that he's been participating at this level. It's going to take some time. He is a very, very talented athlete. There's no two ways about it, and he'll get there. He'll definitely get there.
Yeah, and two athletes that are firmly here, Joe Groom and Tom Redmond. Joe's one of your ones to watch for today. He's been there or thereabouts at our Pro Championships for a number of years now, Joe, and is this the year he can really turn things on? He always says he's his own worst enemy at times, so you know, he's
I think it's safe to say that we can all say that about ourselves. So really, I mean, you know, it's just about if your headspace is on point, then you're good to go. And I like the way that Joe's been active in this sport for so long, and it's about his time, I would say. He's my dark horse for today.
Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, very nice grab by both of these guys. Tom Redmond, a legend in British timber sports, got a quick cut there. Nice, clean transition. Joe Groom, a bit of a deep angle on that upcut. Boy, is that close. So look at the times. 11.87, 11.90. That's going to put Joe Groom just ahead of Tom Redmond here in the stock saw results. Joe sitting in 5th place right now with a nice cut. We'll see what the Competition Control Center says after adjustment.
Congratulations, both cuts are good.
Okay, so there has been a small change there. Joe Groom stays in 5th place, but Tom Redmond has actually jumped up to 3rd place with an 11.59 cut. Very nice. How quick was he getting into that wood, Alex? Man.
Yeah. Talk us through the time adjustment there for Tom, Troy.
So what happens is we have, at the front of our stage, we have 4 individuals. Each one of those 4 individuals has a clock stop in their hand, 2 for each side of the stage, so 2 for stand 1 and 2 for stand 2. And when they see that cookie drop at the second cut, they'll push their button. Human error and timing and speed and synapses playing a role. Then it all goes to the Competition Control Center, where Jules Janssen will have the final say with his high-speed cameras and make the adjustments from there.
Yep, now 2 athletes not giving too much away in terms of age, in terms of personal bests, in terms of height, and they will be desperate to take big points from this second discipline, the stock saw.
I don't think Gavin ever used the stock saw in his rugby career, at least we hope not, but we know that Graham Turner is a very solid stock sawyer, so let's see how these two get along.
Hey, warm up your clothes. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, dead even start by both Gavin and Graham. Gavin's got a clean cut. Beautiful transition by Gavin Thompson on the upcut. He's looking good. Graham's lost the tip of his saw in there a little bit. Oh, and a bit of a slower time for Turner on that one. Gavin Thompson, 11:13 and a 12:39 for Graham Turner. And we'll see that in the slow-mo. We saw the tip of the bar from his saw kind of disappear into the block a bit.
Okay, congratulations, those cuts are good.
All right, official times locked in there. Gavin Thompson, second fastest time of the day with an 11:03. And Graham Turner's 12:15 sets him in 9th place in the stock saw results. Let's have a look here.
Yeah, Troy, the old adage, thin to win, and we see countless amount of times the drag on the upcuts, the downcuts, if you opt for that bigger cookie.
Well, Graham had a really nice thin cookie to start things off with, but it looked like he pulled the saw back towards him a little bit right there at that moment, and the tip of the saw disappeared, so he had to readjust because he wasn't cutting the other side of the block, and that's where it slowed down. You can see it's a better picture right there. So he probably could have leaned into that a little bit more. Gavin Thompson, though, had a really nice transition, a really clean upcut. Both of them got into the wood at about the same time, so it was a nice start.
Okay, the final heat of the stock saw, our second discipline out of 6 timber sports, sees Glen Penlington and George Spencer take to the wood.
These guys couldn't be better matched up in this discipline. Glen's fastest time, 9:94. George is a 9:45. Tail of the tape gives a slight advantage to George. Let's see if he can hold that true, or if Glen's been working on listening and whispering to the saws a little bit.
Hey, warm up your saws. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, quick start by George Spencer. Glen Penlington, very quick to get in there as well. Beautiful transition from both guys. It should be a very clean upcut for Glen Penlington, 11:16, and George Spencer, 11:72. I said these guys were closely matched up. How does that look out there? Unbelievable. Very, very close heat there. Glen Penlington slips himself into 3rd place in the overall there, or not in the overall, excuse me, in the stock saw, and George Spencer jumps into 4th place in the stock saw. We'll have a look shortly how that pans out in the overall.
Hey, congratulations, those cuts are good.
So George was quick. I mean, there was no delay. He got that saw up there and right into the wood.
A knife through butter.
Yeah. Now the transition from both of them was really very nice, but on the upcut, we saw a little bit more efficiency from Glen. You can see here, he just kept it consistent. Very nice, clean upcut. George got a little bit slower on the short wood at the top, and Glen was just concentrating on doing what he knows how to do there. I mean, both of them, like I said, they're really, really evenly matched up in this discipline, and you know, they go back and forth all the time. So let's take a look at the results here.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Jack Morris, he only takes 1 point. Graham Turner, he'll be disappointed to only take 2, as will Dave Thomas, who takes 3. It's a personal best for the debutant Ryan Tonkin. He gets 4 points. Joe Groom, who cited the stock saw, cites it as his favourite event, he'll take a meagre 5 by his high standards. Harry Hogg, he's in the mix there with 6. Tom Redmond, after that initial DQ in event 1, he takes 7, and into the top 3. Big points for Glen Penlington, Gavin Thompson, and Ben Chapman. A stellar run from Ben. And let's see how that comes out in our totalizer. And Ben is sitting top of the tree, closely followed by the reigning 4-time champ, Glen Penlington. And, you know, hot on their heels, George Spencer, Gavin Thompson. They have both got 17 points apiece in 3rd and 4th.
Nice.
Yeah, it's white hot, Troy. We knew, and we'd expect nothing but you know, high quality, high octane action from our athletes today. Who's impressing you so far, 2 disciplines down?
Well, I mean, you know, the usual suspects are right there. Glen Penlington, George Spencer. I really like the way that Ben Chapman's been performing today. And I mean, as I mentioned, that consistent performance throughout the day. You may not win every discipline, but if you stay in the mix in the top 3 or 4, you know, you don't have to win every discipline to take the top spot on that podium at the end of the day. So Ben is looking good. You know, of course, Glenn is in the mix. George is definitely in the mix. Gavin Thompson, stellar performances so far. He's sitting there in 4th place in the overall. And my man Joe Groom in 5th place. So he is among the top 5 with 1 more discipline to go in round 1. Now, let's not forget also that after this next discipline, the standing block chop in round 1, we will eliminate 4 athletes from the bottom of the rankings and move on to round 2 with just 8 remaining guys. So here is where somebody like, where was it here? Tom Redmond is gonna have to really put in a good show on that standing block chop in order to get as many points as he possibly can so he can stay in the mix.
And that just shows the level of the athletes we've got here today. Tom Redmond, who's twice finished in 3rd place as a pro, and he's, you know, he's got that tense and nervous time now as we enter this 3rd discipline, the halfway stage. Can he propel himself up into 8th or higher and, you know, not be eliminated?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be about where his headspace is at. Does he just take a deep breath and go, okay, whew, I got to concentrate on what I know I can do on the standing block chop, or will the nerves and the butterflies get back in churn mode and cause problems for him? Because we know he's a powerful guy, he's a good axeman, and standing is a strong discipline for him, so he could theoretically jump up a couple of notches here and be among the top 8, which is what he's going to want to do and what he needs to do here. No pressure at all, though, Tom.
The pressure is piling, the emotions are heightened. We move now into our 3rd discipline, the standing block chop. So the axes come out. It's a classic timber sport, one to watch. Let's see what it entails.
Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 30 centimeters has to be cut through both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
Okay, the standing block chop simulating the felling of a tree. Heat 1 will be Harry Hogg and Jack Morris. Then we move to Tom Redmond, Joe Groom, right the way through to Heat 6, where we'll see Scotsman Graham Turner and Welshman, our reigning champ, Glen Penlington.
Tom Redmond right now in 10th place in the overall standings with 7 points. Yeah, he really needs to kick it up a notch here. He managed to get 6th place in the stock saw. That's middle of the pack. That gave him those 7 points that he needs after the DQ and the underhand. So right now, it's about trying to get as many points in that heat number 2 coming up for Tom. In the meantime, Harry Hogg and Jack Morris on stage getting ready for their standing block.
Harry and Jack sitting 9th and 12th overall, so we need big performances from these two.
Hey, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
This is also a very strong discipline for Jack Morris, and he can really hammer that block. Harry Hogg looking good as well on this first side of the block. Jack Morris and Harry both moving on to that second side. Now earlier on we saw Jack shortcut that first side, and hopefully it doesn't affect him here on this one. It looks like he's getting close to it though. Harry Hogg still working on that second side, and Jack Morris has got himself a great time. A personal best 26.78. Harry Hogg just passing 30 seconds here as he is coming close to cutting through that block, or is he? It's wiggling a little bit up there. I can hear the audience members in the background
Harry needs
cheering
this.
him on, but he might have cut too short on that first side, leaving him in himself a little bit too much material to cut through. It's a tough situation to be in as he's trying to find that power to get through, and he's done it in 53.97. That is an unfortunate time for Harry Hogg, who has had much better times in the past. Jack Morris, however, with a really nice 26.53 PB.
Congratulations, both cuts are good.
And hopefully this can kickstart Jack's championship. If he can get himself into that top 8, and it was a wry smile from Harry. Maybe the realization has dawned on him that you know, this might be the final foray for him.
Yeah, at the moment he's got 21 points in total, so that's it's going to be a tough one. I mean, he needs to be among the top 8 if he wants to make that second round. But you can see here, he just had too much material left over and tried to chip out a little bit more as we take another look there at that final driver for him. He's got the power, that's no doubt about it, but this time that cut on the first side didn't work to his advantage.
Okay, another man in Last Chance Saloon, Tom Redmond, 40-year-old from Dorset, and Joe Groom, the dark horse as Troy's calling him. He is also part of Heat 2 in this standing block chop.
So Tom Redmond's PB is 25.57 there. And I mean, if he can get that, he'll be in the lead after this block. The guys have been cutting well today. The blocks have been cutting well. So yeah, let's see. We'll cross our fingers for Tom to stay in the mix. And of course, hoping that Joe Groom has a good cut as well.
Hey, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
On point start with both of these guys. Joe Groom and Tom Redmond chipping out nicely. Tom to the other side quickly. Joe Groom. Both of them on that second side now. Oh, this looks like it may be a good time. Big slab came off for Joe on that top of the block there. Tom Redmond getting close to it. Oh, and Joe Groom's dropped it at 26.99. Tom Redmond having a tough time on that block at a 33.12. So Tom Redmond sitting in third place right now. Joe Groom moves into second place in the standing block chop results.
Okay, congratulations, both cuts are good.
Joe has got the bit between his teeth today. I mean, not only did he knock the top of that block off, but he shaved a massive time off his personal best, and he's enjoying his timber sports today.
Yeah, he's gone from 33 and change to 26 and change, and that's 2 personal bests at the top 2 positions in our standing block chop rankings thus far. Tom Redmond looking really good on that first side. He had some big chips coming off that block. And there's that final driver from Joe Groom that spun him around. Here we see a little bit of a hop on that axe from Tom Redmond. And there might have been a hard spot or a little bit of tight wood in there. Hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's finally poised, Troy. I mean, before we entered this discipline, only 6 points separated first and fourth, and the points are up for grabs, and every athlete has a favoured discipline, so your time could come at any moment. Every second count, every stroke, every cut counts and matters.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, after this discipline, round 1 is done and dusted, and we'll be losing 4 athletes from our list at the bottom and moving on to round 2 with 8 athletes. So the points are a big deal right now, and if I look at the points at the moment, Joe Groom has got 26 because of not very many other athletes having done this second or this third discipline. He is currently sitting atop the rankings. Ben Chapman has 23 points, but he still is to cut. and he was at the top of the rankings prior to this discipline coming in. So it's going to be interesting to see how things all kind of go. And there you can see at the bottom right-hand side of your screen the standing block chop results so far, with Jack Morris, Joe Groom, Tom Redmond in 1, 2, and 3. Harry Hogg sitting in 3rd place there. So Jack Morris has given himself a good opportunity here to make sure he stays in the mix moving into that next round. We'll cross our fingers for him and, of course, Tom Redmond. But it's going to be a tough job for Tom right now. It's basically him sitting there and sweating bullets until we see how the rest of the cuts go for the standing.
Yeah, we saw Jack with the most points achievable at the moment as things stand, and could this be a springboard, a catalyst for him to get himself into that top 8 and progress in this Great British Pro Men's Champ? Now, 2 Irishmen here with the Irish eyes smiling. Always great to see. Seamus Ryan and Gavin Thompson, they will take the stand next in Heat 3 of this standing block chop.
Yeah, it's a sea of green up there.
And look at the PBs between them both there.
I know, how close is that, right?
30.5.
Yeah.
Both representing Ireland multiple times on the international stage. No stranger to this British stage either. And they are in the mix. They are firmly in the mix. Gavin had a great run out in the Stocksaw last time, and Seamus's consistency has put him well and truly in contention too.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Gavin got a little bit of a sticky one there, and that axe hung on for dear life as he tried to wrench it out of that block. Seamus Ryan getting some nice chips on his side. They both moved to the second side in sync with each other, driving into that second side now. Gavin, he's also exploding some wood out of there. Seamus getting really good drivers. Gavin's coming close to it. He looks like he's going to try and power through that now. Seamus has already got his block off the top of the personal best 27.73. And Gavin, one more driver should do it. And there it is at 37.38 for Gavin Thompson.
Okay, congratulations, both cuts are good.
All right, so Seamus Ryan with a personal best 27.51 slips into 3rd place in the standing block chop. You can see right there was a bit of a sticky axe a couple of times here for Gavin actually on that. So all that power, if his axe gets stuck in there and he has to wrench it out each time, that's going to take away energy and time. Last couple of drivers here for Seamus Ryan. Oh, and we see a bit of a sticky, not a sticky one, but a skip by Gavin Thompson as he thought he was in through that wood, and it just popped him back out. Yeah, there was seeming like consistent sticky axes by Gavin there. That's causing him problems throughout.
Okay, the next heat's Heat 4. We have Ryan Tompkin, who is in 8th place. Don't forget, that's the final qualification place as we conclude the halfway stage. So Ryan is sitting in 8th before this, and there's a nervous look over his shoulder, but he'll want to do the job properly, as we all know he can, and it's his maiden voyage into the pro circuit. There he is, and there's the man top of our leaderboard prior to this discipline, Ben Chapman, with a solid PB of 27.
Well, Ben Chapman was leading coming into this discipline, and we've seen Ryan chop very well. So let's see.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
2 up, 2 down for both of these guys as they get into that first side of the block. Ben Chapman chipping out nicely. Ryan Tonkin moving over to the second side of that block quickly. Did he shortcut that first side? It looks like he might have, so hopefully that won't cause him problems. Ben Chapman on his second side now, and Ryan Tonkin looks like he really wants it. He wants to get a personal best time out of this one, and he sees it. He knows it's there, but he's got one a bit, oh, just shy of it. 30.57 for Ryan Tonkin on that one. You could see him watering at the mouth. He saw that that was open enough for him to get through, but he had 1, 2, 3 drivers to try and find that space, and it would have been a beautiful move for him had that worked out, but unfortunately it did not.
Okay, congratulations, both cut and go.
So Ben Chapman with a 36.87. Bit of a slower cut for him there, as well as his personal best was 27.75. Taking a look back here at Ryan Tonkin on his first side, Ben Chapman, and that's his first side as well. Yeah, Ryan Tonkin, look, I think he felt like he had it there, and he was watering at the mouth as he was trying to put in those huge drivers to get through there, but he kept getting it sticky in the block, and yeah, that just caused him problems. Had he gone a little bit longer, you know, a couple more hits on that first side, it might have helped him out. And you could see here, this last driver was just driving him a little bit nuts.
Yeah, and Troy, what we've seen there from Ben, there was a suck of the cheeks as he finished off, because the points I don't think are going to be big enough to keep him top of that leaderboard. In fact, we know they won't be. But that's how quickly things can change.
It shifts around a lot. We've got
now
one heat to go, or 2 more heats, excuse me.
Yes, 2 more heats to go in this discipline. But 2018, the last time we saw the World Championships on these shores, I was lucky enough to attend in Liverpool back then, and you know, everything's geared for these athletes, you know, not only to podium finish, but also to represent their countries at the international stage. And talk us through, Troy, the Worlds and what that entails.
Well, the Worlds is a gathering of all the best timber sports athletes from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the USA, the Nordics, as well as from Great Britain. And on the European side of things, there's a little bit of a different ranking system. So you have to be among the top 8 or 9 in the European rankings in order to make it to the international, you know, the individual World Championship. And this year, STIHL is celebrating 100 years of business, and for that, it's going to be a huge party and a huge deal in Stuttgart, the home of STIHL, for the World Championships on October 30th and 31st, and we're going to see the team and the individual World Championships contested there. So the question is, are the athletes here providing enough points for that European ranking in order to make it to the world stage? And for the last few years, it has been enough, and we've seen great British athletes, you know, like Glen Penlington showing up and doing their due.
Yeah, we're on the rise.
We're on the rise.
We're on the rise. So let's take a look now at what the World Championships are all about.
Really good memories of Stuttgart.
Like, what a beautiful city.
I have never been in front of this big crowd.
There was going to be 6,500 people in Porsche Arena. I think everybody's going to be on their game.
Definitely my favorite arena.
Probably going to be unlike anything I've been competing in front of before.
All right, we're ready with heats 5 of this standing block chop. It's Dave Thomas and George Spencer. Dave Thomas was in 11th place going into this discipline. George Spencer knocking on the door of that podium finish. He's in 3rd before the points are added for the other athletes. So let's, without further ado, get underway. Dave was the top qualifier yesterday, so he does come into today with bags of confidence, and a man always with bags of confidence, George Spencer there, looking sharp, looking ready.
Bags of confidence, bags of axes, you name it.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good pace by George Spencer as he's hitting that fast and furious on that first side. Switches quickly to that second side. He is wasting no time at all to try and chip out that block and get through that thing as quickly as he possibly can. Coming into this discipline in third place, it could well push him up in the rankings, or at least, at the very least, keep him among those contesting. Oh, and it's a great time for Spencer, 26.74. That puts him in third place in the standing block chop results, and that puts him now in second place in the overall standings. And Dave Thomas with a 36.04, excuse me, currently seventh in the standing block chop results, and he is unfortunately a little outside our top 8.
Congratulations, those cuts are good.
Yeah, George Spencer was just wasting no time at all. He went quick through that first side. I don't know if it was an 8-hit first side, and then he got onto that second side, and he was having none of it. This wood was not his friend today. Would have liked to have had a better time for sure, but that time is good enough to get him into third place in the standing block chop results as we move on to our next heat.
Yeah, the next heat is the final heat of the standing block chop. We've got Graham Turner with a PB of 23.33, and Glen Penlington, just take a look at that PB, 19.20.
Yeah, I mean, by far the fastest PB of any of the guys that are cutting today. So tail of the tape has Glen with a distinct advantage over everyone.
We know when Glen gets to competition mode, he's flying.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, the pace of Penlington on that block is insane. Bing, bang, boom. He's a hit every 2 hits is every second, it seems like. Graham Turner moving onto that second side quickly. Glen Penlington looking really good, and it could be that Penlington is pushing Turner to a personal best as well. Oh, there we go.
Wow.
A national record.
Wow.
And a PB for Graham Turner. I told you so. Glen Penlington with an 18.11, a fantastic run there. And Graham Turner doing a great job with a 20.99 PB. And that pushes Glen up into the top spot. Graham Turner in second place. Jack Morris is in third place in this discipline. That was blistering.
Congratulations, those cuts are good.
I've been involved with STIHL Timbersports now for 10 years, Troy, and you know, I've seen Glen progress and progress, but today, wow, this is next level from him.
Yeah, that's the kind of pace we were used to seeing on the underhand chop, not the standing block chop. I mean, he was just murdering that block. And look at Graham Turner, though. I mean, fantastic. 6 years in the sport, and he's keeping up with the big boys, as it were. And at this time, you could definitely say that Glen was pushing Graham Turner into that one.
Yeah, season's best, personal best, national record for Glen Penlington. All the 12 points as well. That's what will matter to him right at this moment in time.
And they actually adjusted the time afterwards, so it's
Wow.
gotten a little bit faster to a 17.83.
He'll take that.
No, he'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And as you've seen there, 3 PBs from the next 3 athletes. Graham Turner, Jack Morris, who can he keep himself in the mix for the top 8 push? We're going to find out, though. Let's go to the totalizer and see what comes out in the wash. All right, eyes on the top 8 now. Oh, it's a narrow miss for Jack Morris, who finishes in 9th, and we say a sad farewell to him, along with Tom Redmond, who's had a podium finish twice in the last 4 or 5 years, and then Harry Hogg, who came in as the second best qualifier from yesterday, and the top qualifier from yesterday, Dave Thomas. It's after a 7-year itch, almost a 7-year wait to come back to this stage.
That hiatus.
He's packing up his axes and his chainsaws and heading home, sadly.
I kind of feel like we'll see him back, though. I think he's got the bug again, that desire to compete. He's definitely not lost much, and it might take a little bit of time for him to get back into the swing of things, as it were. Oh, bad dad joke, but, I'd like to see him come back and really make a push for those top spots on the podium again.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Tomo back, and there's big things to come from each of those athletes that we wave goodbye to. But it's now all about the top 8, Troy.
Yeah, and those top 8 move into round number 2. Round number 2 will include 2 disciplines. So we've gone from 3, now we're down to 2. The first discipline we'll see is the single buck, and then after that we'll see the springboard, otherwise known as the tree in the colloquial words of how we call it. And then it's going to come down to 6 athletes going into round number 3 in that hot saw. So really now we're into the juice of it, if you like,
the
to
business
see
end.
Who can get the most points in these next 2 disciplines, which can be very, very difficult to gain those points in.
Excellent. So yes, we are going to move on through now to the next discipline. Like you say, we have the misery whip. It's coming out, this 2-meter long saw. That is longer than I am tall. Let's take a little look at what's going to be faced with these athletes next.
The 2-meter long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into 2 types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around 1,500 euros. Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc of a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
Single buck, here we go. Buckle up now for these heats. 4 of them. We're down to our top 8 athletes, and it's been a stellar debut. We keep talking about this gentleman, Ryan Tonkin. He'll go in heat 1 with Gavin Thompson, one of the leading Irish competitors, and another one of our top Irish boys, Seamus Ryan, goes in heat 2 with our top Scotsman, Graham Turner. And then the dark horse, the Cookie Monster, still in the mix, Joe Groom, alongside George Spencer, who lies in 3rd place at the moment. Ben Chapman, who found things a bit sticky in that standing block chop, he's clinging on to 2nd place, and he'll go in heat 4 alongside Glen Penlington. But it's all about heat 1. All eyes on this one. Ryan Tonkin and Gavin Thompson in the single buck. 2 meters worth of fun now, Troy.
If you can call that fun. I mean, yeah, when that saw is cutting clean and nice, it is fun. But when that thing stops mid-stroke and bends, or you have to restart it, then that's the reason why many of these athletes call it the misery whip.
Yeah, and as Troy says there, the misery whip, you don't want that whip wobbling around. You want to keep it straight and true. So that initial trough is being marked out for both our competitors, Ryan and Gavin. Just checking those teeth. They are super sharp. A lot of time and effort's gone into polishing those to their optimal sharpness.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Gavin Thompson with a nice start. Oh, but he got sticky there, Ryan Tonkin. And he got sticky as well. A misery whip rears its ugly head for both of these gentlemen right early in the cut as they are getting into the middle part of their cut now. And both of them just trying to keep the fluidity of that saw going. Gavin Thompson's got it now at the bottom. Oh, and he's got a national record of 22.84 for Ireland, and Ryan Tonkin will take a personal best of 27.79. Great showing for both these guys, even with all that stickiness at the top of the cuts.
Even with a little bit of misery sprinkled around.
With a little bit of misery sprinkled around.
Hey, congratulations, those cuts are good.
All right, taking a look back here. Yeah, you can see the angle change was pretty stark for Ryan Tonkin there, and it got stuck on him a couple of times. At least it happened, we'll say, at least at the top of the cut and not at the bottom of the cut, where the potential of that disc breaking off and leaving a tongue at the bottom is very, very high. But very nice to see both of these guys getting a personal best in the case of Ryan Tonkin, and for Gavin Thompson, that's a national record. Excellent job, and always like to see that as you know, a form of validation for the work that they're doing.
Heat 2 now, Seamus Ryan from Ireland and Graham Turner from Scotland. Just about ready to rock and roll in this one.
Seamus Ryan, the previous holder of that national record, so he's going to maybe want to take that back.
Yeah, him and Gavin are good friends though, so I'm sure he'll just let him loan that one out for a while, but that'll give him extra incentive to perform well here.
One thing that I really love about Timber Sports is, and you mentioned this, you know, they're good friends, but they're also competitors on stage. But what we see very, very often in Timber Sports is these competitors will spend time with each other, talking about technique, talking about things that they do to try and improve their games. And, you know, it might be in one case somebody helps another guy become a little better than the first person. So it's a very interesting dynamic here, and I quite like it. It's very familial.
Yeah, but it drives the sport forward in this country as well. And
it does, absolutely.
We are making great strides as a nation. And
interesting that not very many of the athletes here are using spiked shoes in order to find more purchase on that floor. I believe Seamus is wearing some, but I'm pretty sure that Graham is not.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, good start by Seamus and Graham both. Graham's got pace and he's using really the entire length of that saw. Seamus slipped a hand off of his handle there on the pullback, but he's got it back going fairly quickly. And Graham Turner with a fantastic personal best and a blistering time of 16.17 takes over that top spot in the single buck, and Seamus Ryan with a 24.26. I would safe to say that Graham really wanted that.
yeah, pulling it out of the bag, Graham, just when it matters now.
Congratulations, those cuts are good.
So adjustments have been made, 24-21 for Seamus Ryan and 15-9-4 for Graham Turner, fastest time of the day so far.
Yeah, we know Graham's got a lot of the tools, a lot of the attributes to do well today, and every year he competes. You've seen in the underhand chop, Troy, and the standing block chop, he posted those big points. The stock's all let him down a little, but he's come back with a vengeance here in the single buck.
Yeah, he doesn't need a motor. He is a motor. That was a very, very thin cookie for Seamus Ryan, and that's a risky move. I mean, on one side, it doesn't bind on the saw so much, but on the other side, you know, if you're not really on point with your cuts at the bottom, that cookie could break out. But Seamus is such a vet, and he got down to the bottom of that cut really nicely without any drama.
Okay, a couple of family favourites now. Joe Groom and George Spencer back into the fray for Heat 3. And these chaps, George was lying in 3rd and Joe was in 4th ahead of this discipline. But as we know, everything can change. Every stroke counts. It's got to be considered. It's got to be strong. It's got to be long. George particularly shown great consistency across this afternoon, across this championship so far. Joe has got big performances in his locker. He's going to hopefully unleash something here.
Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice start by George Spencer there and Joe Groom both. Joe got a little bit of a hop, but now Joe is picking up the pace as he's got the flow going. George Spencer really putting into it. Oh, he bent that saw big time though in the middle of his cut. And looks like we're gonna have a couple of decent times here for these guys. Joe Groom at 21.69 and George Spencer a little bit faster at 21.18. So George Spencer jumps up into 2nd place in single buck, Joe Groom in 3rd. And it's actually been adjusted. Joe Groom's got himself a personal best at 21.44.
Okay, congratulations.
Delightful.
Look at the intensity on George's face there. Hopefully George breathed through that heat. Joe Groom looking very good. Joe had 1 hookup and George had 1 hookup, so I mean the matchup that way is pretty evenly set up. There's that final pull through from George Spencer right at the bottom of his cut, super nice and clean. Bit of an angle there by Joe Groom on his cut, but he still made it work for himself.
All right, the last heat now of our single buck discipline. 2 big hitters in timber sports terms. Ben Chapman, who is knocking on the door of a podium finish, and the man himself, Glen Penlington. I mean, this guy is just getting better and better.
Well, speaking of spiked shoes, there's a pair.
stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very nice and quick start by Ben Chapman. Glen Penlington looking good as well. And yeah, he is really keeping that saw moving at a good pace. That is a super thin cookie for Ben Chapman, though. It could cause problems for him at the bottom of the cut if he's not careful here. Glen Penlington with a personal best 15.49, and here we have to be really aware for Ben Chapman. Is that little tab going to be enough to get off? It's so tiny at the bottom, and he has to cut it off. Oh, he's going to have a huge problem here. He has left himself literally nothing to work with at the bottom of that cut. He's going to have to hip check that saw on there to try and get that little piece off, and that is going to be quite the puzzle for our judges to have to put back together. And I see you gritting your teeth over here watching this. Oh my goodness. Ben Chapman with a paper thin cookie at the bottom.
Well, we have a DQ on this hand. It's a full stop. And a good cut on this hand.
Surprising to have a DQ for a false start on that one because of the way that cookie was at the bottom, but he was very quick at the beginning. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, he was very quick at the beginning. You could see how thin that cookie is to start at the very top. I understand the headspace behind that, but you have to be really, really aware. So the cookie that Glen had was pretty much the optimal thickness, I think. And you can see here at the bottom of Glen's cut, he was so consistent and smooth through there. Ben was fast as well, but as he got to the bottom, he had to be really, really aware. And you could see how it was just kind of wiggling a little bit there and then broke off, leaving that tiny little tab. So if it wasn't a false start, it might have been an incomplete cookie in that case.
Yeah, I was pursing my lips, gritting my teeth, grimacing on Ben's behalf there, and he's unfortunately DQ'd for his false start.
Yeah, and that is going to cause problems as we take a look at the single buck results here. Once again, Glen Penlington proving why he is the 4-time repeat champion here. Graham Turner with a fantastic cut, though, and a personal best at 15.94. George Spencer, not his fastest, believe it or not, and sitting in third place. And my dark horse with a personal best, Joe Groom, with a 21.44. So those top 4 guys, and now we get to see what the overall standings look like here after the single buck.
Yeah, one thing does remain the same. Glen Penlington still sits atop of our overall standings, 50 points.
With a massive lead.
Massive lead. So, you know, and the way Glen has been performing today, it's high doubts that there will be any steps out of line. Second place, George Spencer, 37. And then hot on his heels is Graham Turner, who's made a great late flourish into the top 3 spaces.
Yeah. So the next discipline coming up is going to be that springboard. And I've often said that the springboard for me is the maker or the breaker discipline, because really it's this discipline that can affect the future position of the guys going into those top 6 positions. They could be among the top guys, and if they have a horrible springboard, they can drop all the way down that ranking and really be in a rough spot going into, or perhaps missing entirely, that chance to go on to the hot sauce. So yeah, it's a tough discipline coming up.
Yeah, so many things to think about in this one. The springboard.
Now the guys are still building the springboard stands on stage. This is quite the process here. Because it does take a long time to get that set up. So why don't we, in the meantime, take a review of our first ever Women's World Championship that happened just recently, last weekend, in fact, in Budapest, Hungary, and it was a record-setting event back there.
We're going to have 9 absolutely fantastic women on stage destroying blocks of wood, and we hope you enjoy this British Women's Championship.
First up, we have the stock saw.
Beautiful transition by Rachel on the upcut. Oh my God! We have our first world record if that stands. Holy smokes, folks!
What a superb start to the competition. Next discipline coming at you is the standing block chop.
Got some nice chips coming out of there. Pattern 55, 33.
Unbelievable power on show today. Again, another unrelenting block for these women. It's all to play for here in the single bout. So much power going into these cuts. It's all going to be down to the underhand chop.
So Rachel Farrington is sitting in second place, tied with points with Kat Eckerman. Olivia Husband moving over to the second side of her block now.
What a monumental effort, and congratulations to our women's British champion.
Rachel Penlington.
Seeing that I got a world record, I think my jaw dropped, and I don't think it's quite come back up yet. I was sort of coming in thinking I've really got to concentrate and try my best, because the girls out there weren't going to give me an inch, which I knew, so it was like all or nothing. I'm just going to try and have confidence in what I do. I don't think I've got any excuse now to doubt myself anymore. Just go for it.
Yeah, delighted to be joined by Rachel herself, our British Women's Champion of 2025. Rachel, you watching that back going, oh my goodness, I don't want to see myself on screen there.
No.
How was it watching that back, though, a year ago this weekend?
Oh, what a year it's been. I mean, so much has happened. Going to Milan with the team, the first ever Women's World Cup. I mean, it's only started my third year ever in the sport, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Now, you did participate in the first ever Women's World Championship last weekend in Budapest. I asked you how it was for you, and you were like, I was terrified. Explain a little bit about those feelings and what it was like for you going up against women from around the world who you have competed with on other occasions, but not on such a large frame.
Yeah, I mean, still really pull out all the stops in terms of the setup and the stage, and walking out across that pontoon onto the stage above the water where there's nothing around you other than you and the block. I mean, that's massive, massive nerves and massive, trying to keep that under control was a big thing, yeah.
Now, you got a solid 6th place at that event at the Worlds. That puts you among the elite in women's timber sports. That's got to play with your head a little bit. What does that give you as far as confidence coming into this event here, being the reigning British champion as well?
Yeah, I think after that stage last weekend, anything else is going to feel, a little bit more comfortable. And those women that I was chopping with, they really are elite, and they're a cut above the rest. So it's really inspiring to see them and be amongst them and have qualified to be there. So that was, it was huge in terms of thinking, I can push harder and I can go further,
Very cool.
Rachel, I know how humble you are, and I'm going to embarrass you now in the nicest way possible. It's, like you say, it's only your 3rd year as part of the Timber Sports family. You are our British champ. You attended your first World Championships. You're the 6th best Great British athlete. That's the highest posting of any British athlete, male or female, so congratulations to you. You're 2nd best in Europe. You hold 2 national records, a world stock saw record as well. Just talk us through what factors you put into all your training, all the energies. What's got you to this position now in such a short space of time? It's phenomenal.
I think just my work ethic. Whatever I do, I really try and put everything into it and try as hard as I can and get it as right as I can. I think I'm probably hard on myself, maybe a bit hard, but, I think you've got to be. You've got to be. The standard is so good.
Yeah, well, you're a true credit to yourself, true credit to Great Britain. We love having you here, and best of luck tomorrow. Any final thoughts, any final preparations ahead of the Women's Championships tomorrow?
Best luck to everyone who's competing. Anything can happen on the day.
All the very best to you, Rachel. Thanks for joining.
Thanks very much for being here. Well, we do know that anything can happen on the stage, and we have seen that many times in the past. We'll take a quick look back at last year's Rookie Championship from here, and then we'll be joined by yet another athlete for a quick speak.
But it all worked out for me in the end.
Yeah, the champions to our studio just keep on coming now. Rowan Luxton, the British Rookie Champion of 2025. Welcome in, Rowan. How's things?
Yeah, really, really good. Feeling ready for tomorrow, and it's good to see the boys doing well today.
Yeah, now I know you've been picking up axes and chainsaws since you were legally allowed to do so, and as our rookie champ, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, we know it's a big family here at STIHL Timbersports, and what's put you in this position, and what's it like rubbing shoulders with some of our top British men and women athletes over the course of this weekend?
Yeah, it's really good to be around them. Like, they're all good guys. I've known them all for a long time, and yeah, we're all just learning off each other and trying to do all as best as we can.
And are they willing to help?
Yeah, always. It's no different on the day of the competition as it is to any other day. Yeah, you're all in it together, and you're all just helping each other get better and keep a cool head.
What have been your main focuses? I know you've got the championships rearing their head again tomorrow. What's your focus? What your skill sets? What's the strongest things for you?
I think my underhand has always been my strongest, and I got the national record in that this year. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do there.
And are you ready to get yourself on this pro stage at some point?
Yeah, I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to get up there.
Theoretically, you've got 3 more years to stay as a rookie. Do you see yourself pushing it out through those 3 years as a rookie, or do you see yourself maybe jumping to the pro level a little bit before that time?
No, I think I'd like to finish strong and move on early, get there as quick as I can, and yeah, get mixed in.
Predictions for today? I'm going to win it all.
I think Glen's got a really good chance today, and if I keep a cool head tomorrow, then I can get there too.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rowan, our 2025 British Rookie Champion. Now, Rowan and all our athletes who want to get ready for the international stage have to be prepared for an electric atmosphere wherever they go. We're going to look back now at what that atmosphere can do to the crowd, to the athletes, and to everyone involved with STIHL Timbersports. Let's take a look back at some of the action from Prague.
It comes down to Mitch Argent and Shane Jordan battling hard on the standing block. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Australia or New Zealand? Oh my God, how close is this? And it's Australia!
The atmosphere last night in the team's relay was unreal.
That is their title of Team World Champion 2 years in a row.
Oh, definitely. It'd be the noisiest crowd I've competed against.
Shane Jordan's already over there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps thinking about it right now.
The crowds here, they were just erupting.
You feel the energy of the crowd.
Oh my goodness, what a great comeback from Belgium with a time of 1.
The crowd was absolutely electric.
And it was so much noise and support.
Ja, doch, das pusht schon rum. Mein Fanclub ist auch da.
Very passionate about their country and, yeah, their competitors.
Yeah, it feels super.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
It's pretty awesome to compete in front of a crowd like this.
But he's not giving up. He's looking good.
Like such an adrenaline rush. It's an amazing feeling.
They make a lot of noise, and that's good for our spirit.
Is it going to be the Czech Republic? And the crowd goes bananas.
It's absolutely extreme here. Man hört.
Okay, we're moments away from the penultimate discipline in this men's pro championships here in Great Britain, the foot of the Malvern Hills, and the sun is shining. British summertime is finally upon us.
It's a beautiful day.
It is. It's wonderful. The crowd's been amazing today. The athletes have been on point. Everyone's at the top
A celebration because STIHL is turning 100 this year, and home base for STIHL is in Stuttgart. Let's get a quick preview of this year's coming World Championship and what it could entail.
Really good memories of Stuttgart.
Like, what a beautiful city.
I have never been in front of this big crowd.
There was going to be 6,500 people in Porsche Arena.
I think everybody's going to be on their game.
Definitely my favorite arena.
Probably going to be unlike anything I've been competing in front of before.
Up 30th and 31st of October this year. If you can come and join us in Stuttgart for that, get your tickets online now, because it is something to be experienced in person. It's absolutely out of this world. It's such a fun time.
Now we're moving along, and this is where the tree takes front and center stage for the springboard. This is where, and I'm sure you've said it many, many times, it can make or break an athlete's championship. Let's find out what is going to entail with the springboard.
Springboard. Springboard simulates the traditional way of felling trees, climbing up over thick roots. First, notches known as pockets are chopped into the log. 2 springboards are then anchored into these pockets. The athlete then climbs up to chop through a 27-centimeter thick block of wood in the fastest time possible.
Okay, athletes, they would make the world go around, these guys. They are in the final mix now with this penultimate event, the springboard. Heat 1 with Ryan Tonkin making his debut in this Pro Championships up against one of the leading Irish competitors, Gavin Thompson. Heat 2 will be Seamus Ryan, also from Ireland, with Scotsman Graham Turner, and then Joe Groom and George Spencer in Heat 3, and Ben Chapman and reigning champ Glen Penlington go in Heat 4.
And there you see our trees. The stage crew has done a blisteringly quick job of getting them set up on stage, and our first pairing comes out. Ryan Tonkin and Gavin Thompson. So many things have to click here with this discipline. And we'll just let the final preparations go before we get the whistle and the start. Here we go.
Hey, athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, Ryan Tonkin with a 4-hit pocket gets on that first board quickly. This is looking like a good start for the new guy. Gavin Thompson getting up on that first board now as well. Ryan, 6 hits on that second pocket, I believe, as he'll get himself up on top, and this may well be a good time if Ryan can get through that block quickly. Gavin trying to set that second pocket to get that board in place. He's got a bit of a saggy board on the bottom, but that board doesn't count. It's that top board that is all important, and Ryan Tonkin has been holding back on us here during the qualification rounds yesterday. Where was this action yesterday from Ryan? Unbelievable, as he is up there working on that top block, getting in nice and deep, and now Gavin Thompson has joined him up top, and he's got to have that power and putting in there. Ryan's moving to that second side now on that awkward angle. This could be a very good time and a personal best for Ryan Tonkin. It will be a 109.62 for Ryan Tonkin, a PB. And that was a very, very nice run. 4-hit pocket at the bottom, I think a 6-hit pocket at the top Really, really nice hit. And Gavin Thompson now coming up on 125 here on that first side. He'll be going to try and switch to that second side fairly soon as he's deep in there. Doesn't want to leave too much wood to cut through on the back. Quick balance check. And now he'll switch his position and go to that second side. He needs to get that board down or that block down as quickly as possible. Staying pretty consistent here with his time. He's a little bit over his previous personal best. Trying to find his way through that block. Passing the 2-minute mark now. And one more driver will do it. There we go, 2:08.14 for Gavin Thompson. Oh, he's a time in the books. That'll take it out of you. Ryan Tonkin's previous personal best was 1:40.44. He's got a 1:09.62 this time around. Big improvement just on the weekend alone. Gavin Thompson's previous was a 1:53.08. He's gone past that a little bit with a 2:08.14. Tough discipline, really, really tough discipline. But we are under review for Ryan Tonkin, so we have to see if he's got a complete block cut. We'll have to see what the judges say here. Okay, it's under review for the finish of the cut and possible slabbing, because there are screws in position to try and prevent this from happening. So we'll see what Radu Kazaku says when he comes to the front of the stage, if this is in fact a DQ or if it will be considered a good cut.
Okay, this time we have the screws because the screws aren't in the right place. However, this time it's okay, good cut.
Oh, that is a gut punch for Ryan Tonkin. Misplaced screws, the slabbing screws are not in the correct position, and that means a DQ after an absolutely phenomenal run. That is a tough one to take, and we'll take a look back here in the replay. So Gavin working to get that first pocket set. Meanwhile, there was that 4-hit pocket for Ryan. He got in there nice. Let's see how many it took him to get there. Oh, we don't get that review as he is on top of that block now. You can see that big slab that came out of the top there that should have been prevented from the slabbing screws that they put in at the top there, because when a big piece comes out like that, it means that there's less material to cut through at the end.
Was that down to the preparation then? Was that anything Ryan could remedy for next time?
It's about the preparation that they do beforehand off stage and in the back to make sure that the screws are in the right position.
Okay, well, big learning curve for Ryan.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Ryan because it really was a fantastic springboard for him.
Okay, heat 2, Seamus Ryan and Graham Turner. They are going to take to the springboard, the real leveler of a discipline, as we've just seen. So Seamus is currently in 6th place overall. Graham in 3rd and knocking on the door of a podium finish. Both these athletes have shown great consistency across the course of this afternoon's competition here in Malvern, Worcestershire.
Yeah, Graham's figured out his routine on this one pretty well, I believe. Seamus has been around long enough that this is automatic for him. It's more or less like breathing. So really it's just about making those small little improvements as you go along. So the perfect pocket at the bottom is 4 hits, perfect pocket at the top is 4 hits. Get up there quick and start working away.
Okay, Emma, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Four-hit pocket for Seamus Ryan. He gets on that board. He has got that axe stuck in there deep, though, as he is not feeling comfortable on that bottom board. Graham Turner set his board up, though. Took him a little bit longer to get that bottom pocket set, but he's got a solid pocket, and that board is holding him well. Seamus Ryan back up on his board. Graham Turner will now do a little house cleaning there and set his board in position for the top spot. So a slight sag in Graham's board, and it looks like it might be slipping out. Graham's got to be careful here, as the more it slips and the more it comes out, the closer he's going to have to go to that log, which is going to mean cutting from the shoulders and not from the hips, and that board is not looking solid right there. Both boards for both of these gentlemen seem to be sagging significantly, and Graham's going to have to step forward there on that board, but he just isn't wanting to give up at all. He's coming closer to the main tree, and Seamus has got to do the same. We're almost at a 45-degree sag on Graham's board there. It's looking very precarious, but he's not giving up. This is a man with no fear, clearly, and he'll switch to that second side fairly quickly, I believe. Obviously, Graham feels like that board will hold long enough for him to get through that second side. Seamus moved on to the second side of his block now as well, or not as well, rather, but he is over there first. Graham Turner on the second side of his is just going to try and get a few gingerly shots in there and try and get that block down so that he can get off the top of that block safely, or the top of that board safely, and he's done it at 2:07.46. Seamus Ryan getting close to it now. One more driver should do it for Seamus. Oh, it's a thread that holds on at the end. 2:15.41 for Seamus Ryan. That was a scary, scary, scary board for Graham Turner, though. Holy moly.
Doesn't he just know it?
You could see on the wood there that it was digging in more and more and more and more, but it wasn't holding a stable position. But, you know, good to be lucky, lucky to be good. Got to cut through, and he's got a time. A little bit of a technical issue there for Radu Kasaku, but both cuts are good for Graham Turner and Seamus Ryan. Believe it or not, Graham Turner with the fastest time so far in the springboard. You can see that board sagging drastically for Graham as he's still working on that first side, but he was not willing to give up on that at all. And there, pops that block off the top and immediately steps to the tree itself. Gavin, now here he has one more driver and it looks like it's gonna go, and then it just hangs on by a thread and then finally drops it. So, or excuse me, Seamus Ryan with a 2:16.21, Graham Turner with a 2:07.27, Gavin Thompson earlier on with a 2:07.91, Ryan Tonkin, unfortunately, with a really nice run up that tree. His time was not official because of the DQ, because of the screws that were put into the top to avoid the slabbing issue. So they weren't in the correct position around the top of the board and or at the top of the block, and that's why he had a DQ in that discipline, unfortunately.
Yeah. Troy, you cover timber sports all around the world, and a recurring theme from today is the improvements that you've seen our British athletes make by discipline, and you know, we've arrived at 2026 in fine fettle, and it's got to be down to the resoluteness, the efforts that these athletes are putting in, and the amount of days, weeks, months of training that they're going through, and to what levels are they so finely tuned now?
Well, I mean, a lot of the athletes back in the day were just, you know, taking the time to hit with the axe and cut with the saw and do the things that they do on stage. And then there was a progression into, you know, multi-sport training, you know, playing different sports and making sure you were fit in the off season or during the season so that you could peak at the right time. So now there's a concentrated effort by athletes to really train in the off season. In fact, there's a documentary series that's been put together by the wonderful staff at STIHL and our crew here called Off Season, and we'd like to give you a quick preview about it. It's available on YouTube coming soon, and you'll be able to see exactly what these athletes are doing in order to stay fit when they're not cutting wood.
Roy, we often talk about the athletes and the tools and the energy that goes into the sport, but we often forget to talk a lot about the wood. You know, the wood's a key component of timber sport.
Yeah, it's a huge component. This is not just random trees that have been cut down and brought back here for these athletes to cut. These are actually curated and prepared competition wood. So they're what you see on the stage for the various disciplines like the underhand chop or the standing block chop or the springboard where we're at right now are blocks of wood that usually come out of the same stand of trees or out of the same tree in many cases that have been checked rigorously for knots, for, you know, consistency throughout, so that we have a really fair competition wood here, because it's a big deal for these athletes to have fair wood on the left and the right-hand side of the stage.
Troy, the wood we use for the chopping with the axes is different to the wood we use for sawing and the chainsaws.
Yeah, generally the chopping disciplines are going to see poplar wood being used, and the sawing disciplines are using pine. It's not 100% the case, depending on the land that you're in. I mean, if you go down to Australia, they're using a little bit harder wood there. In North America, they switch their wood up pretty frequently, but generally speaking, chopping disciplines are poplar and sawing disciplines are pine here for us.
Yeah, and we as a team here at STIHL, we're really proud of our sustainability measures that we've got in place.
Absolutely. I mean, you see a lot of chips and sawdust and stuff being, you know, swept up, pushed off the stage into the big bin and the lorries that take them away. It's not like we're just taking this to a landfill somewhere and dumping it off. It often gets reused, and the most often what we're seeing is these are turned into pellets for the new fireplaces that have pellet burners, or the ovens and heaters in houses that burn pellets instead of oil or gas.
Yeah, let's take a look now at the lifespan of the wood and its sustainability.
We at STIHL Timbersports pride ourselves that all wood is sustainably grown, harvested and recycled to minimise the overall amount of wood processed. Firstly, this poplar wood is grown on certified plantations. Secondly, the white pine for our sawing disciplines is only sourced from certified forest management. After all our STIHL competitions, by new trees, or could even be used for arable for farmers and future rotations.
Okay, that's the full journey of the wood, and this is a culmination now of the journey of these athletes on the road to the British Pro Championships of 2026. Two popular competitors now lying in 4th and 3rd place respectively, Joe Groom and George Spencer, both of them knocking on the door of a podium finish in this penultimate discipline, the springboard.
So right now, one of these guys needs a 2:07.27 or better to get the top spot in the springboard discipline. Now, Joe Groom's personal best is a 1:43.98. I don't see a personal best here for George Spencer, so we may well see him knock one out today. Last minute preparation for these guys on stage, so we'll leave them be and let them get ready for this very, very difficult discipline.
Okay, athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Six-hit pocket for Joe Groom, 6, I believe maybe even 7 for George Spencer as he gets up onto that block. Joe and George now working to set that second pocket, the all-important pocket that needs to be very well set and stable for that top board. We saw the earlier heat with Graham that was sagging badly. These guys don't want to have that situation happening here. George looking good as he's getting that board in place. It looks like the the tongue and tooth of that board has taken good purchase, and he is in a fantastic position on that board, well back on that board, and he can use the power that he has to really push through and get some big hits on that board. Joe Groom up there now, and he's got a solid board as well as he starts working that top block. Slight advantage now goes to George Spencer on the very top, and Joe Groom chipping out really nicely. He's got some big pieces flying off that block. He's obviously chosen the right axe for this one. Going in deep on that first side is George Spencer trying to find the line. He's looking good as we're just getting around the 115 mark for both of these guys here. Joe Groom looking good. He's in deep. George Spencer may switch fairly soon here. Yep, there he comes around to the other side. Joe Groom doing the same. We have a couple of good times for both of these guys here today. Joe getting close to it. George also getting fairly close to it. Joe Groom does it in 1:35.48, a personal best for him. And George looking to find his way through there. One or two more drivers should do it. He's got a little bit of material left there. He's got the power. And he, oh my goodness, I thought he was going to have it on that one. He's trying to find a single line there, and it's a good cut through there with a 1:53.16. Personal best for George Spencer. It was, it had me wired there for the end. I thought George would have that one a little bit sooner. And then the axe kept finding a new line to go through that wood on that close-up shot. But a really nice run by both of these guys. That means Joe Groom takes over the top spot in the springboard. George Spencer right behind him with the second fastest time, which puts George Spencer atop the overall leaderboard with one more heat to go.
Okay, congratulations, both cups are good.
It's great to see Joe Groom putting all the pieces together today, this Saturday in June here in Malvern for this British Championships. And also big credit to George Spencer, who he got a personal best there, and he could have taken even more time off that. So he may look at this a bit more disappointingly.
Yeah, you can see here in the replay, Joe Groom had a 6-hit pocket on the bottom, and he took a little bit more time with that second pocket, making sure that it was absolutely solid for him. George was a bit faster getting that second pocket in position and getting up on top, but Joe had so much power. Obviously chose the right axe. That block was just exploding underneath him. And if you watch here, a little bit of a balance mishap there for George, and you can see he was trying to get it out, and then he just kept finding new lines to cut through there, and that just took a little bit more time on that top block. But great job by George, nevertheless, to get himself a PB time on spring.
Okay, because the stage is set and prepped in advance for this final heat, we are ready to go. The final heat of the springboard, Ben Chapman and Glen Penlington.
Glen Penlington currently holding the national record of 1:03.83, and I think we have seen him, in fact, do quicker times in unofficial situations. So let's see if that holds true for competition status.
Yeah, Glen's already posted 3 personal bests today. I took another national record in the standing block. He already is the holder of this record as well, so he's improving where you wouldn't have thought improvements could be made, but such is the stature of this top athlete out of Knighton in Wales.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Quick 4-hit pocket by Glen Penlington. He held back not 1 inch on that as he just went for it with 4 quick hits to get that board in place. Ben Chapman now setting his board in and going to get that second pocket set. I think that was a 6-hit pocket for Glen on that second board. and he is up top quickly. Ben Chapman trying to find a clean pocket there as Glen has started already on that top block. Ben setting his second board now, and hopefully that one will feel good for him as he steps up and now can really step back on that board. Axe is in tight though. He's got to work hard now as they reach the 50-second mark, and look at this, Glen Penlington switching over to that second side. There, he's done it. A new national record, 57.69, under a minute for Glen Penlington. Well done for the reigning champ. Ben Chapman now is on the cut here as he is going to try and get through there in under 2 minutes, which is his personal best. So let's see if he can do that, but it's looking good for him so far as we're not quite at 1:25 yet, and he should switch that second side fairly soon here. He's pretty deep, a quick inspection there, and he moves over to that second side, and I think Ben should be able to do it here with a personal best, and we're crossing our fingers for him as he continues to line up his hits. Oh, tough one here now as he's got a little bit more material than he expected to get through on that side. Now it's wiggling a little bit. He just went past that line, 2:06.17. Hey, he still got himself a PB. Great job by Ben Chapman. It was a tough second side for Ben. It was a very tough second side.
Hey, congratulations, both shots are good.
All right, so a clear fastest time of the day with 57.38 for Glen Penlington, a new national record there. He takes the top spot in the springboard with 2 boards by a bullet. Joe Groom, a really solid run for him. Takes second place George Spencer with a 152.86, also a personal best. In third place, Ben Chapman, who we just saw, has a 205.84 PB in fourth place. And then we've got Graham Turner, Gavin Thompson, Seamus Ryan, and Ryan Tonkin rounding out the remaining 4 spots there. But unfortunately for Ryan Tonkin, small mistake in the prep before the event even went on caused a DQ for him. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out in the wash when we go to the overall standings. After these slow-mos, we'll look at our discipline standings and take a look at the overall standings and who of our remaining 8 athletes will be moving on to the hot sauce. So here we go. Springboard results, Glen Penlington, a clear winner there with a 57.38 national record. He'll take the full 16 points home on that one. Joe Groom has been fantastic throughout the day. He's been super consistent, very solid. Second place for him here in this one. And then George Spencer with a really nice and solid springboard sitting in third place there. What I'm very curious about, though, is how it all washes out in the overall standings here. I'm fairly sure that we're going to see Glen atop the overall standings. There's no questions there. But the remainder of the guys that are here, and in particular the top 6, who will they be moving on to the next round? And there we go.
Yeah, so we are down to 6 now, Troy. We say fond farewell to Seamus Ryan and Ryan Tonkin. Ryan, don't forget this was his pro debut today, so to finish in 8th is no disgrace by any stretch. But has anyone there surprised you today, Troy, out of the 6 remaining athletes?
Not really. I mean, there haven't been any really big surprises for me other than the fact that we saw Ryan Tonkin eliminated this early because he had such a beautiful tree. I mean, he was up there quick. It was a much faster time than his personal best that he got in the qualifications yesterday, which was his first foray into this discipline, really in a pro contest. So the improvement was a leap above, and it was just the preparation before the event, off stage, behind the scenes, that left him a little bit in the lurch.
I think it's safe to say, though, with a showing like that on the springboard, which is one of the top and the toughest events here at STIHL Timbersports, Ryan will be back.
No doubt about it. I think we can see him thinking about this over, the season, training a little bit, making sure that he is really having everything in a muscle memory way for next time. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in a top 5, if not on a podium next season. But that's also a tough call because we've got such a talent pool here and some amazing athletes. And as we've seen today, I mean, Joe Groom, he's had a day, and that's my dark horse. Go, buddy!
It's a delightful story for Joe because he's been part of STIHL Timbersports for a long, long time.
Exactly.
And it's just about piecing those jigsaws together. The talent is undoubted, and to see him up there going through all the training, going through the motions and everything coming together at just the right time when you want it to come together in the heart of a British Championships. And he's now got himself into a really, really good position. He's up there with Graham Turner, George Spencer, guys who've been there before, and he's got his place at the top table with one event to go, the hot saw.
Absolutely.
Now, we've got, and we've not even had time to talk about Glen Penlington, who's just glided.
What are you going to say about this guy? I mean, he's just whipping through the competition here. It's amazing.
Troy, he scored top points in 4 out of the 5 disciplines. He's posted 4 personal bests in the 5 disciplines. 2 national records have gone, one of which was his own anyway. I mean, this guy it just defies logic, defies belief how the improvements he's made on top of how good he was already.
Yeah, well, I said consistency. You don't have to win all the disciplines if you're consistent throughout, but, Glenn comes along and wins a whole bunch of them and stays consistent along the way as well. So, I mean, he's a tough act to follow, really. I mean, he's such an incredible athlete, and he's trained so hard in the offseason to make sure that he is fit and ready to go and peaking at just the right time during the regular season. What can you say about this guy other than have fun out there?
Yeah, and he really has been having fun out there, but it's all going to come down to this final event. You can hear in the background the sound of the hot saw. You can smell the petrol in the air here in Malvern, Worcestershire, Great Britain. We are getting primed and ready for this one, Troy.
Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't provide you with a little bit of smell-o-vision, because then you could smell what we're smelling here. Now, but those big monster saws you could see back there, Dan preparing one of the saws that's being provided by Bart Jansen's team. And there we see a few of them getting lined up and ready. Some of these guys own their own saws. They're very, very expensive machines. So, some of the guys have to use the saws provided by the BJ events here. But they are such powerful machines. The chain rotates at around 200, 250 kilometers per hour. They're very, very finicky. They need a lot of maintenance because it is a high-performance machine, and it is a crazy piece. And they're like 35 kilos as well. Just lifting one, you get winded, And then you've got to think about cutting 3 cookies off this block while this thing's shaking in your hand. It's crazy.
Yeah. Cutting through those cookies with like a jet engine equivalent weight in your hand. Let's take a closer look at the hot saw itself.
These custom, handmade, race-tuned machines are built for maximum power and precision and to cut the wood as fast as possible in a competition. They are built with a 60 to 80 horsepower single-cylinder 2-stroke engine, often taken from a snowmobile or high-powered motorbike. The hot saw can weigh up to 30 kilograms, and its chain rotates at over 250 kilometers an hour. The cost of a competition hot saw used in STIHL Timbersports is upward of 6,000 euros. Hot saw. For the hot saw, power saws are called into action, and the athletes have a space of 15 centimeters to cut 3 complete discs off a 46-centimeter thick wooden block. Jumping the start or cutting over the line will result in a disqualification.
Troy, this piece of equipment here, not to be messed with, and it's often seen as the make or break of many an athlete's championship.
I would agree to that to a certain extent, but I also believe that the springboard discipline we saw earlier really determines whether or not they're going to make it here. And this, we could say, the springboard is the maker, but the hot saw will break you.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if anything goes wrong with the hot saw, getting it started, it bogs out. You can't get it started in time. That'll kill your time if you cut a cookie out or if you cut over the line, which is entirely possible. They only have 15 centimeters of space to cut 3 cookies off that block. One mistake means that you have to either go back and cut another cookie. That's a time problem. Or if you don't have enough space, you don't have a complete cookie. That's a DQ as well. So there's so many things that can happen there. And you can hear them in the background right now. Glen Penlington warming up his saw. That big growly motor of his.
Yeah, and the people watching live all around the world on our live stream, they've got the luxury of being able to turn the volume down if they want. And our expectant crowd here in Malvern, Worcestershire, they're being handed ear defenders, which I'm sure they'll want to apply.
Yeah, when they're on stage, that sound really ricochets through the space. Here we go.
The top 6, the final 6 into this final discipline of our British Pro Championships of 2026, the hot saw. Heat 1, we'll see the remaining Irish contestant, Gav Thompson and Ben Chapman. Ben's done so well from qualifying yesterday, the last remaining qualifier to take place in this Pro Championships. Graham Turner and Joe Groom, we've already talked about these two. They've made such big strides today. They'll go in Heat 2, and then the final heats, the culmination of all the hard work, all the training across the last 12 months since we were last here, will be George Spencer and our 4-time reigning champion, Glen Penlington.
You can see the crew on stage putting the Lexon shields in place. Those are more or less bulletproof screens because there are so many potential projectiles that can come off this saw if it does decide to fall apart at the seams, which we certainly hope will not happen. So Gavin Thompson and Ben Chapman coming up onto the stage for their hot saw. And they'll have a chance to warm up the saw. Then they'll be given their warning start gun and their cuts will happen. During that, we probably won't say anything because 1, you won't hear us. And 2, it'll allow these athletes to really concentrate on a very, very finicky discipline.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, for Ben Chapman, a bit of a difficulty there at the back end, and it looks like he might have cut over the line. Hopefully he did not, but he had to go back and cut a fourth cookie. Now we saw on Gavin Thompson's, there were some pieces of the blocks that were actually flying off, but I believe we should be able to puzzle those back together and have complete cookies for Gavin Thompson, and it could be a good time for him, a 10-6-1 Ben Chapman with a 15-17. Let's see what our judges say here.
Okay. On this stand, we haven't DQ'd because the line was cut. However, on this stand, it's a good cut.
All right, so Gavin Thompson gets a personal best 10-4-1. Ben Chapman, unfortunately, as I suspected, was a cut line after he had to go back and cut a fourth cookie. So that's a difficult end for Ben Chapman here today with 0 points in the hot saw results. You could see how angry that saw was. It was just wiggling all over the place and trying to find a stable position to get in there. This first cut, yeah, you could see those little pieces that were breaking off from the block. So that's not as a result of a bad cut. That's just a piece of loose wood that got shaken out of there for Gavin Thompson. So it's a very, very nice cut, and he's got 3 good cookies on the deck. All right, stage is ready and set for our next hot saw heat, heat number 2 between Graham Turner and Joe Groom. Joe Groom's got a real nice personal best of 8.93, so we should see him cut well here today. And if he does cut very well and can hold that top spot, he may well be in a podium position. We'll see.
Okay. What about your show?
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, this was a rough cut for both of these gentlemen. Joe Groom had a cutout on cookie number 2, which means he had to go back and cut another one to make sure he had 3 on the deck. So hopefully they are within the cut line. And we see that the chain came off completely from the bar from Graham Turner's saw. So that will mean that he won't have complete cookies on the deck there and won't be able to repair that and get back in and cut more cookies. And oh, for Joe Groom, it looks like maybe a cut line as well. We'll see what the judges say at the end here.
Okay, we have 2 DQs, the line and technical problem.
Technical problem is an understatement there, as the chain came off the saw bar completely. So let's see what happened here. Started off well for Graham Turner as he got down to the bottom of that cut, transferred in. The upcut looked pretty solid, actually. So it might have been on his transition to that cut down. Oh yeah, right there. Came in a little bit too hot maybe, and the chain just clipped off. So that is a tough break for him. Joe Groom's cut up there was a cut out, which means he had to go back and reset and cut an additional cookie to make sure that he had 3 on the deck. But unfortunately, by the time he had cut his 3rd cookie, he didn't have enough line or space to the line, and that meant a cut line for Joe Groom, so a DQ for him. So far, that's seen 3 DQs in the hot saw, with 1 more heat to come, and that's George Spencer and Glen Penlington. So it's between these 2 guys to try and see where the top of the podium will be. And it's been an interesting day for the hot saw. So next heat coming up, George Spencer holding the national record for the hot saw with a 7.24. That is a blistering time. Glen Penlington with an 8.01 PB. So 2 guys that are going to be pretty evenly matched up. It's going to be coming down to headspace and equipment, really, but the way it looks all day long today is sometimes it's a technical issue, sometimes it's just about your headspace as the boys come up on stage and get ready for our final cut of the day. And this will be the decider for our podium, folks.
Okay, 1 round of applause. Ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, yes, Glen Penlington with a national record, 7:01. He just keeps dropping the national records left, right, and center. Are the cookies good, and is he inside the line is the question. Don't see a flag, and it looks like we might have had a nod, and there's a thumbs up from Bart Janssen for George. So George's time was also pretty good at 7:28.
Great. Congratulations.
And unbelievably, George got that cut done, and the chain came off his saw at the end. So that is a fantastic heat there between George Spencer and Glen Penlington. George was actually a little bit faster, but Glen Penlington with a fantastic cut there. That national record, excuse me, was incorrect. Glen with an 8:59 after the Competition Control Center made the adjustments on it. So George's time of 7:28 is the fastest time in the hot saw. And watch what happens at the bottom of this cut from George. He gets through this second cookie and on through this one, and bang, the chain comes off just at the right time. Holy smokes, folks, that was close. Yeah, you could see Glen struggling a little bit with the cut as he had to step back and re-stabilize himself. Those powerful, powerful saws just don't want to let you live an easy life up there. And Gavin Thompson, so far, the only guy with a personal best on the day with a 10.41. Unfortunately for Graham Turner, Ben Chapman, and Joseph Groom, we have a DNF, a DQ for cut lines for two of the guys, so and a DQ for an unfinished cut for Graham Turner because his chain came off the saw at a really unpopular time. Let's pull it that way. So, in the final results, with the final adjustments here, Glen Penlington is the 5-time reigning champion with 81 points. George Spencer gets a silver medal today with 67 points in second place, and Joe Groom, my man, gets that third place with 48 points and the bronze medal. And we'll head on up to our main stage, and Alex Kirkley, who is going to be running us through our award ceremony and everything shortly. But just one really quick side from me. It's been a fantastic day, and now we'll send it over to Alex.
Thank you so much, Troy, and thank you everyone here in Malvern, Worcestershire, for an outstanding Great British Championships of 2026. We're about to bring out the athletes from 12 to 4. So let's give it up for the following today. Here we go. Dave Thomas, Harry Hogg, Tom Redmond, Jack Morris, Ryan Tonkin, Seamus Ryan, Ben Chapman, Graham Turner, and Gavin Thompson. And now we move on to our podium finishers in the medals for 2026. In third place, give it up for the Cookie Monster, Joe Groom. And the trophies are presented by Simon Hewitt, the head of marketing for STIHL GB, and Vicky Tween from STIHL GB Marketing. In second place today, we give it up for the one, the only, Mr. George Spencer. And it gives me great pleasure to announce the champion of 2026, the 5-time Great British Champion, no less, the one, the only, Glen Penlington. And it's that time where we cool off in the British summer. Congratulations again to our top three, Joe Groom, George Spencer, and the British champion of 2026, Glen Penlington. And now it's time to cool off after some white hot action here in Malvern, Worcestershire. Congratulations all round, and just before you get to the fizzy wine champ, we're going to have a quick chat with our 2026 champion, Glen Penlington. Glen, let's get closer now. Come come in. Let's get you with your British public in the background. Glen, amazing, amazing achievement. I mean, I'm going to start with the roll call here. I know you're a very humble man, but you got top points in 4 of the 6 disciplines today, 4 personal bests, 2 national records broken. You broke one of your own just for fun. You are the 5-time champion. Where does today rank, Glen, in your long list of achievements in STIHL Timber Sports?
Yeah, this one's pretty high, to be fair. You know, I've been trying to chase them records down a little bit. I've wanted to beat that tree record for a while, and you know, to just get that standing block record as well, it just shows the hard work that I've managed to put in. And you know, it's been a great competition as well. There's so many PBs out there, and seeing everyone do well yesterday as well, those boys qualifying, so it's been a fantastic couple of days.
Yeah, I know you give credit to your fellow athletes as well, and it just shows the shape that the British sport is in at the minute. You know, you've broken into the top 10 internationally as well, Glen, recently. What part of the Glen Penlington master plan are you going to look to climb that world ladder with? What's next?
Oh, I'd absolutely love to get an individual spot at the World Championships in Stuttgart. You know, I think maybe this year might be the year. I think I've got some solid times up there, but we'll have to see. Hopefully it's my luck, and this time I can make it there. But you know, I'll keep training hard. I've got the European trophy as well to look forward to. So yeah, there's plenty to go on with. But yeah, we'll just celebrate for now.
Yeah, I'm delighted to call you our 5-time British champion today, Glen. Take the accolades, take the adulation of the British crowd here in Malvern. Congratulations to you once again, our champion, Glen Penlington. Thank you very much to our wonderful crowd here in Malvern. Troy, it's over to you to thank everyone who's joined us virtually worldwide.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, it's been a fantastic day, and we've seen some ups, some downs. We've seen some technical difficulties. It has been an absolutely outstanding performance by Glen Penlington. 5 times in a row. That is unbelievable. Can anybody step up to the stage and take him down? We'll have to see and wait until next season. Until then, we hope you enjoyed the show today. Thanks for joining, everyone. Until next time, take care and ciao.